It is live. It's Edge Radio Australia. It does say on the screen we're live, so the screen would never ever tell any fibs, would it? Now,
No,
really wouldn't.
hope
Faye.
not.
You
Good
were
morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I was just commenting on your rubber duckies on your shirt.
I know. I literally, and I mean this, I really do. When I put this on every single time, I have the same conversation with myself.
You?
I go, yep, I've got my ducks in a row.
Oh, there
which
you
is
go.
not true. They're all over the place.
They're all over the place, which is actually a good representation of you, really.
It really is. Okay, this is me in a shirt right there. Okay, I'm attempting to get together. I'm really looking forward to getting today. I love speaking to you. It's always an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Likewise.
But here's the beauty of this. Now, it's all go, go, go.
Is it?
I don't even know what today's show's about.
Oh, and that's perfect because of the topic. It's actually really
Oh, really?
good.
Really? Because you were so impressive. You've done some work behind the scenes. You've got it all prepped up for me. I'll tell you right now. I might have a lie down on the couch and get comfy.
You may as well because it goes with the flow of today's session.
Okay, and what is today's session?
It's all about the art of surrender.
There you go. Surrender the complete power and control of Edge to you. There we go.
So you're getting so in tune now, Aaron, that you're actually like getting into the flow without even knowing what the topic is.
I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take that any day of the week for sure. I thought I was getting into the tune. That's good stuff.
You go.
All right. Well, okay. So we're going to get into the tune of things. Please explain.
Explain? Well, do you actually know what surrender means?
Yeah, it's not something I ever wanted to do, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
surrender.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose it can be taken in several different ways, can't it? Like,
Spot on.
Depends if you like surrendering, like under fire, but hopefully not.
I don't want to do that.
No, surrender. Like it's a total letting go, like releasing control of things. Because we always think, as humans, we always think that we're in control of our life.
Oh, and we are so
we like
wrong.
To think we are, but we're not actually to a certain extent.
I like to fake it. I mean, I like to pretend, and not to other people. Not that kind of fake. I mean, fake it to myself that I'm in control of my life. But no, every single day, every single week, as life goes on, I realise that somebody else has got the remote.
Somebody's playing like puppeteer.
Yeah.
But we can have like little goalposts that we want to reach, sort of map it out.
Agreed.
But then and kind of know where we want to go. But if we want to like have the nth degree of control over it, then we quite often get lessons from the universe around letting go of it. It's like, no, not going to happen that way.
So true. I had a friend many years ago who used to do a lot of ridiculous things, and he used to really, mate, and he used to say, it's all right, the universe will provide, right? And I'd see him get into these financial situations, we'll call them, or, whatever they happen. But with money, it was very obvious the way it kind of happened. And you think to yourself, rather, like, how is he doing this? Why is he doing this? And guess what? The universe would always provide. But no matter what, like no matter what kind of pickle, what kind of mess he built for himself. I haven't seen him for about 10 years, so I don't know, maybe it stopped, I don't know. But yeah, the universe did come to the party. And I used to think it was ridiculous, but I don't anymore.
But there's an art to it.
Okay.
Because it's not just like, being really lackadaisical and like I don't care kind of thing. It's actually about setting your intention. It's being, we've talked about soul alignment.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually about having the intention and being aligned with what you truly want and what, is in alignment with your highest good.
Okay.
And actually saying, okay, well, this is what I would like to be achieving this.
Yeah.
And then you just know with no uncertain terms that you're going to achieve it, and then just letting go. Think, okay, now provide, or ask the universe to provide or to show me the way, and then the steps will unfold for you. And it's like all these series of doors just open for you. It's like you follow the synchronicities because they get shown to you. It's happened to me so many times. Whereas if I try to go against the grain and, open doors that aren't open, you get them slammed in your face, or, you get told in no uncertain terms, nope, you're not going that way, go that way instead. You get kind of directed. Yeah. And
you're very lucky because, apart from that happening, you're also very lucky that you actually recognise it. I think that's a big thing.
It's been lifelong learning.
Exactly. This wasn't built overnight, right?
No, Rome wasn't built in a day.
It's so true. It's incredibly true. Okay, so in practical terms, I could say, what can we do? Well, we can do nothing. Great, great show here, right? Okay,
have a lay down on the couch.
Exactly.
There,
it'll all just come to you.
All the ducks will line up by themselves.
Damn straight. Look, I think there's your personal responsibility involved in this.
Yes.
Like if you put yourself in the position where you can actually gain from letting go.
Yes. Exactly.
Things might pay off for you.
Yeah, totally. So it is about knowing what you want as well, and working towards that. But in a way of, it's really more about going within and allowing.
All right.
Yeah.
How does one do this?
Yeah.
Is it an instructional video or something like that? Something I should know about?
Well, that's a good idea. We should
Yeah.
create one, shouldn't we? But I'm sure
That's
there are
right.
some out there, but, you know.
Oh, they couldn't be as good as yours.
Oh,
no, come on.
absolutely
No,
not.
no doubt in the world.
So, yeah, drop a comment if you'd like me to create one.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but I mean that, like, seriously, if you're letting sort of, I don't know, God take the wheel, so to speak, you're letting nature and energy take its course.
Yeah.
Are there specific things you can do in your life to make that more likely?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, have you ever heard the saying, let go and let God?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is exactly that, the art of surrender and letting go. So whether you're religious or not, whether you believe in God or not, there is a higher power, even if it's our higher self, whatever. But it's about letting go and allowing the higher powers to actually take you on your journey or to guide you. And so the way we tap into that is to, all the things we've talked about in the past, like meditation and mindfulness, because it's about slowing down, going within, and actually listening to the signs, because we're being told and shown these signs all the time. But if you're not listening,
so true,
or you're not paying attention, then you'll miss them.
On the religious front, because I think we've all got our form of religion. Well, some people don't have any at all. I mean, when I say religion, faith of any description, or you believe in a higher power, or turning into yourself with your soul, right? Any of that. But I've got a friend who's particularly religious, right? And it blows my mind how he can just go, he puts things in place, and he's a very diligent kind of guy. Yeah. But then he goes, no, God has a plan for me, and it will work out. And I think geez, man, it's a lot of faith to put into somebody else, right? But it always seems to come off for him. And I think that release of control gives him a lot of freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the key to it too, because you do. And it's not giving your power away to somebody else externally, because, I believe anyway that God is within us, and so whether it is God or your higher self or your own intuition or whatever that you're tapping into, you're not giving your power away to another human being to actually control your life. You're actually giving authority to yourself to actually allow whatever your soul wants for you to achieve or do.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you, and then it is that faith. It is actually knowing without a doubt that this will follow through and that you will achieve something.
It's a big term, faith, isn't it?
It really is. It is.
Well, it's something that I've never really considered myself a control freak. We all laugh about that, but I won't lie. Yes, I do like to have control, but I'm also happy to let others have it. It's I kind of run that balance. But to have complete faith in someone, something else, it is hard. I think it's hard. Well, certainly for me it is. Yeah.
You're talking about faith in something within you, or a deity or something like that?
No, not as a deity. Yeah, just that, like, literally the belief that things will be okay. Right? Yeah, like, I feel like I've got to be steering the ship. If things are going to be okay, I think I've got to be at the wheel, right? Yeah. For my life, not for other people's lives, obviously.
See, I used to be like that too, because I used to like planning out, having my 10-year goal, my 5-year goal, my 1-year goal, and then like plan my calendar out. I used to be like that. And then I used to get so many lessons around letting go of that, because things would keep changing. And so I'm forever whiting things out in my diary. I mean, it still happens, but I used to get really upset about it. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm making a mess of my diary. It's like, who cares?
That's what it's there for.
With white out. But, so many times it changed, and it threw out all my planning and everything. And I used to get upset about it. Whereas the more it happened, the more I would just go, let go. And the more I got shown that it was to make space for something else that was even better, then I trusted more.
You've nailed the point, haven't you, really? You're making I've never really, until sort of a lot of conversations we've had at Edge, I've never considered the whole, people say about your half glass is half full or half empty, all that sort of thing. But ultimately, how do I put this? Just the fact that sometimes in life something has to go for something to come in. You've got to make space.
Always. That's the art of decluttering. This one.
Right.
I love this part of feng shui too. And if anybody, like whenever I do a feng shui consult, the first thing I say to people is to declutter, because if you've got clutter, the energy can't flow freely. But also, like, if you want new things to come into your life, you need to release the old first, because how's something new going to come in when it's full already?
I get that. I really do. And on a personal note, like and I don't like to talk about these sorts of things, but I'm going to. Is when it's been what I think 14 months since the fire that took all my stuff, right? Took so much important stuff to me, right?
Yeah.
And so often still like it's 14 months on and I'm still looking for that particular thing. I go, I just used I don't have that anymore, or things related to memories that are linked to that.
Yeah.
Now I say that, and I don't get me wrong, I don't wish this on anybody, and I wish it hadn't happened, but in a kind of almost spiritual sense, it was very good to be cleansed.
Yeah, right. Letting you let go of everything.
It was good that I actually made space.
Yeah, right.
Like, and I didn't have control of that. It's a bloody big space. So I've got a lot of stuff to refill.
And you had no control over that.
None whatsoever, exactly. But interestingly, on that front, is like I've always been a person who I hold a lot of memories in physical articles, right? Which is good and bad. It's got pros and cons. But it also means you collect way too much stuff.
Yes.
Right. Whereas now I'm very selective about what comes into my life. I don't buy things for a temporary thing. I buy, I'll wait till I need that particular one, right. Or do I really need this? Or
yeah. And I found that's been the gold, if you like, in moving house regularly, because I've done a lot of moving, which is stressful, very stressful,
stressful indeed,
and not always what I wanted at the time. But having to move constantly allowed me to declutter every time, because you don't want to move stuff that you don't have to, because it costs extra money and it's extra packing up and extra unpacking, and you have to find a place for it all. So I got really good at decluttering, letting go of things that I don't need, because I'm not going to move anything I don't need. And so there's freedom in that. So every time you move house, you're kind of going to a fresh start. So you get rid of all the old stuff you no longer require, and you move through into the new phase with only the things you need.
Well, you're kind of forced to do a spring clean, aren't you?
You are. And so now, whether I move or not, I still have this like urge every year and every season to clear out. Like I don't hang on to stuff that I don't need.
Wow. I just last night I had a very emotional kind of thing on that decluttering. I know this sounds stupid, but it's me. So short version of this, when the fire went through, some stuff got quickly thrown into cars, and it was very, very little.
Yeah.
But very luckily, the fire didn't take out the shed. Okay, and there was some stuff in the shed. Everybody's got plastic boxes in the shed, right?
Yeah, of course.
Full of those things. I'll deal with later. And last night, I'm very lucky. Those boxes made it to a mate's place.
Oh wow!
And so it's not a lot, but it got out. But me going through those boxes, we've decided for emotional reasons I'm going to do one box at a time.
Yes, smart idea.
Yep. And going through that box, the amount of unnecessary pain I had in those boxes, legal paperwork, stuff like that, I think, I should hold on to that. Right. And then I thought, no, screw it, right? That bridge is gone. It's literally not part of my life anymore. I don't need to.
So you should do a ceremonial burning ceremony where all the stuff that you found again that you don't need and that's actually causing unnecessary painful memories. Yeah. Actually, you have a burning ceremony and just, I
might just do that.
Yeah, because then it's a releasing, and you're returning it back to all that is, and with gratitude for the lessons that you've had, and whatever that came with that, and then now as you're releasing it, you're making way for the new to come in.
So true. And I thought to myself, like, I've been holding on to this stuff because I might need it.
Yeah, right? As we do.
But why do I need to hold on to horrible memories?
Exactly.
How dumb is that?
I know,
but we do it. Yeah.
Well, it's like again with feng shui, if somebody has stuff that they hang on to because it's been passed down through the generations, or you've been given because you feel like you have to have it, but every time you look at it, it generates negative energy, then you should get rid of it, because you don't want something that creates negative chi or energy. So anything that it doesn't bring joy to you, it's like you have to question, do you want that in your life? And if not, then let go.
So true. So true. I've been the worst person in the world for that. I've held on. And now I don't know, it's quite liberating.
It is, isn't it?
To do that sort of thing. And old, even silly things like, why do we hold on to old items of clothing?
Yeah,
right?
exactly, because you just might need it.
I might just need that.
Well, I found that, years ago when I got rid of all my really old stuff. And then,
right.
then of course, as soon as you get rid of it, you haven't worn it for 15, 20 years. And as soon as you do get rid of it,
Oh, you need it.
you have to go to a dress-up party or something. And
Yep.
that piece of clothing that you threw out was the exact thing that you could have worn.
Absolutely spot on. Okay, we're letting God take the wheel, or whoever your entity happens to be. What's other things that that might be sort of linked into this?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because one of my big areas that I love referring to is birth, of course. And so when we learn the art of surrender during birth, then it's so much easier to go with the flow, because as we know, anybody who's been through birth is totally unpredictable. So, and every birth is different. So if we're not attached to the outcome, yes, we want a good outcome. We want.
Well, you want to be
healthy...
attached to the child. That's
of course,
important.
That is one attachment we do want. Thank you for reminding me of that.
I'm just teasing.
How could I forget that?
But I know what you're saying. Go on.
We don't want to be attached to the experience, like the journey.
Yeah.
Because so many times people get attached to, like, it has to be this way. I want it to go like this, and I'm going to do my hypnobirthing, which is great. This is a great thing to go through. But and I'm going to play this music at this point, and then I'm going to use this music, and I'm going to use my homeopathic remedies, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then, lo and behold, you have a 2-hour labour and you don't get to do any of those. And then it's like
you feel cheated?
You do. You really do. I've had so many women that
most women would dream for that.
Yeah, but sometimes it can be too fast, and you actually end up in shock afterwards because it's too fast. It's called a precipitate birth, but it's because it happens too fast. Usually if it's an hour, from woe to go, and like suddenly the baby's out and it's like, whoa, what just happened?
My mum used to tell me the story from time to time. She was in the hospital 4 minutes when I was born.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And
You're in a rush to come out.
I was in a hurry. I was blue and
loud and proud. Out you
Absolutely, yeah. So
in a rush.
But I'd never ever considered that. I've always thought, gee, how lucky is that? Like, and interesting also about the fact of moving on and leaving things behind.
Yeah.
As I say, had the absolute honour of being involved with my beautiful kids' birds.
Yes.
I also, I kind of think to myself, if you didn't leave it, and not me, I mean, actually, my wife in these cases, if I didn't leave it behind, if she didn't leave it behind, you wouldn't have another child. Because, a lot of women don't love the experience, let's face it.
Yeah, but nature's kind in that it helps you forget. Time heals all, and you end up, somehow or other thinking, oh wow, I'm ready to have another child. It's this calling that women have. It's just a maternal instinct that that you've got another one on the way. And I think we're tapped in, even if you're not aware of this other soul that's waiting to come in. You, on some level, you have a soul contract with other souls, and you're not done yet.
Right.
And then you just get this like calling to have another one. Yeah, right. And it happens.
Well, I say that, okay, as far as like birth and, labour, boom, is it's a hard thing, but it's something that you want to get over and done with and you don't want to remember. Big part, here's what I'm saying, is a big part of what you say, and you've really changed my thoughts on this, is turn it into the wonderful, beautiful, positive thing that it really is.
Because I loved all my birth experiences.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Exactly. Because I had a positive, like I anchored in positive feelings, and I actually felt really empowered through all mine. So yes, it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
But I found that actually really empowering to actually give birth. Like I felt so powerful too, as a woman giving birth and just feeling like you're bringing new life to earth and everything.
Well, that's the whole point of what you do, and that's what's amazing. It's taking something that I think the industry has turned into a negative experience, where it should be the most beautiful. And okay, from my point of view, being in the spectator seats, so to speak, but you can see the beauty in it. Like, it's amazing. It's kind of, if you take away all of the drama of the hospital and everybody timing and, everybody's swapping in and out, all that kind of drama.
Yeah.
When you get down to the nitty gritty of it, it is it is actually the most beautiful thing. Full stop in the world.
It's the most sacred event ever, and like it's the portal through which we go, to become parents.
Yeah.
As well as the baby, like becoming incarnate, into the physical realm. So we've all been through that portal. We all came from spirit and into physical body. So we've all journeyed through that, portal as such to be here.
As such, yeah.
And what an amazing time. And this is why, when we practice the art of surrender in birth, we just allow birth to take us where we need to go. And when we can actually disappear into that experience, then you allow your body to do what it needs to do and allow your baby to come through in the way that it needs to come through in. So you're not blocking it. Whereas the whole
That's-
medical system and maternity
Wow.
system is set up to control and like is also all fear driven,
Yep.
you know?
Yeah.
And so when you've got this model that actually takes women out of their beautiful state of being
Yep.
and actually has to start watching the clock and you have to achieve this by this time and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's all laid out
Yep.
like a plan, like you have to achieve, you know, this dilatation by this time and it's all charted. And if you're not keeping up with, you know, the chart, then they want to induce you and like push it along faster. Whereas we need, as women birthing, we need to actually be able to drop into that space of just total surrender and allow this process to move through us.
Okay. Is this why? Okay, because obviously a woman's body knows what it's doing. I mean, that's that's what it's designed to do.
When
right?
we allow it to,
When
yes.
it's spot on. Is this why that when you have multiple births, the third kid along comes a lot quicker than
it does, and you're too busy worrying about your toddlers and your other stuff. Like you're just getting on with life, and like birth is just happening in the sideline there. You just because I never forget when I had my my third one at home. He's a home birth, and the other two, like it was a school day, and I remember starting, having a few tightenings early in the morning, and I knew he'd told me that he was going to be coming that day, and so I kind of said, when the first twinge started, I said, "Oh my gosh, it's going to be today!" So I said, "You kids can stay home from school today," and of course they were happy.
Oh, I bet they were.
One was in grade 1, I think, and one was in kindy, but they didn't have to go anywhere. We just kind of nestled in and said, "Right, we're having a home day today because we're going to have a birth. Your sibling's going to be born."
And what a great opportunity, like to actually experience it as a family.
Yeah,
right?
it is, and that's what it should be, a family event. So my kids were all at each other's births, except my youngest, who, of course, I didn't have any younger ones, and she always wanted to be there for another one, and she kept saying, "Mum, can you have another one?" And I'm like, "Nope, sorry, shop shut. It's
you miss out.
Four's enough." Anyway, she's got 2 of her own now, so that's good.
Oh, she's carried on the family tradition. So
she has, yeah. But,
go on.
But yeah, it was a beautiful family event, and and because we knew what was happening, and we knew, today's the day, so we were able to all just surrender into that beautiful process of allowing birth to unfold at home whenever it was ready. And he was only like a 4-hour labour anyway.
Oh,
and
crazy.
It was. We had time just to call the midwife, call my parents. My
Yep.
dad had to come back from the golf course because he'd already headed out to golf, and like he had to be there as well because he'd been,
Jeez,
mum and dad.
9 or 18 holes he's missed out on.
He's missed out on, I know. And of course, it was family day too, because we have family day every Wednesday, and on family day, like how convenient was that?
You really did. Well, you planned. Well, no, you didn't plan this. Somebody else
did. My son did. Yeah. He said, "Okay, I'm coming on family day so that you can all be there for me." And there you go.
On that front, so you have family day,
right?
So every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit, because most people don't do this. I think it's a really cool thing.
Like, I'm very blessed that I've got such a beautiful family, and my parents are probably watching this now because they like watching these shows. And
well, they're people of taste, right?
They are great taste. Yeah. Hi, Mum and Dad. And so I chose my parents very well, and so whenever we started having children, like my sisters and myself, they created family day on a Wednesday, so that no matter what we're all doing, we always knew that Wednesday was a day they kept free for all of us to drop in if we wanted to, with our kids, our babies.
I think that's an absolutely beautiful idea. And I know actually somebody else that we both know, Terry, Terry Messenger, who does a very similar thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is a really beautiful thing. Like for me, growing up, not the big whinge here, but my parents worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from the point of view of, I always remember that we're always self-employed. Mum and Dad had their own businesses. And although I love the fact that they were very passionate about what they were doing, all of that, I actually hated the fact that and I mean this for, I don't know how many years, we never ate at the dinner table, right? Because it was always covered in paperwork. Always covered in paperwork. Never. It was always a desk, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all going on, and I hated that. Absolutely hated that with a passion. And I didn't realize at the time how much I didn't like it, but I really didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had my opportunity, when I had my family and my beautiful kids, I did dinner at the table. Right, it's as simple as that,
eat
right?
Together as a family.
Yeah, we always eat together as family. That's that together time, and and with 6 kids, it was pretty chaotic at times.
Yeah, it would have been fun. It's great,
it's fun.
Because that's when you have all the best conversations and find out what's going on.
I thoroughly recommend it. It's such a big thing, and it's literally, in this particular case, you'd have 8 people at a table, and all the noise and all the conversation going left and right. I think it's just outstanding. I really think it's a very basic, simple thing that families need to do, because right now most families sit in front of the ugly box over there and watch some sort of indoctrination, and rather than actually spend time with each other.
So this tradition started 37 years ago when my nephew was born, and it's continued to this day. So we still every Wednesday, and it's beautiful because now it's not only like my parents' kids like us, but then their grandkids and now their great grandkids are all joining in as well. So it's really
multi-generational,
lovely.
right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I like that very, very much so.
And that's just a beautiful place to come and all just connect. So
connection's a pretty damn important thing.
It is.
And we're not doing it so often now. And it's a great thing about, what we're doing, what you're talking about. It's okay. People don't do things unless it's put right in front of them. So the fact that you're bringing these subjects to the fore, that's really important.
Yeah,
we're not just talking about childbirth. We're talking about the whole
parenting.
journey.
It's the whole continuum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once we come in, it is the whole continuum, which is what Soulbirth is about. It's not just about birth. It's actually about our whole journey through life, and out the other end at death as well, because it's just returning back to where we came from. We're leaving this physical body.
Yeah.
Because our body is just like our vehicle to get around in this lifetime. So it's like your car.
This is the Uber I chose. Now, come on, right?
So, how well do you treat your car? I know you treat your cars pretty well. Oh, no. I was going to say you treat them good, but then you throw them around on the racetrack.
Yeah, exactly.
So how we treat our body depends how many crashes you have as to how long they last for.
There's a lot of that going on. That's really interesting. You just brought the death part up. Okay, don't talk about death, taxes, or religion, right? So we'll talk about tax in a moment. No, so won't. But this is the thing, though. Okay, death. When we have a funeral, everybody's all down, it's all negative and all that kind of carry on. I think this is just the biggest mistake. Obviously, we're sad because we've lost that person out of our life in a physical sense. But like when I go, okay, I want party.
Me too.
Oh, my word, right?
I want to celebrate the life that you had. Like, remember the joyful moments and
that's right.
Celebrate that.
Music should be loud. People should be dancing. People should be laughing. I want lots and lots of laughter.
Me too.
Yeah, I think it's so important. So, when someone dies now in my life, it doesn't happen that often, but I suppose I'm coming to an age where it's going to happen more. I don't know. Yeah. But I actually want to focus on the positives here. Like I don't want to walk around all sad. A couple of funerals I've been to in the last few years, one specifically, it was really interesting to see the mix of people who were all, I don't know, they're all looking sad and they're all looking down. Some of them looked down because I think they felt the expectation that that's how they had to appear.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I was like, my attitude was, man, this particular person was incredibly important in my life. Cared for them a lot, and they brought a hell of a lot of joy for my life.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cool thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think a lot of that's cultural too, because it depends on how culture perceives it. I think we need to do a whole show on that.
Okay. Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Rather than getting too sidetracked on that today, but it is a huge
sidetracked. Come on,
never.
No, way in the world.
But it actually deserves a whole show on its own, because there's a lot to be said about death and passing over at the other end, because it's not only at the end of life; it can happen at any time, as we know, and it can happen at birth and before birth. It can happen at any stage. So we need to talk about that, because it is a topic that people try to avoid, but it needs to be talked about.
Well, just as you've said that, 2 instances in my life, actually 3 actually have just come to mind. And like they have a profound effect on you, and not just you that's really close to it. It sort of spider webs out, doesn't it, to all the people in your life?
And what it does to you too is always helps you to reevaluate your own life and actually question, are you actually really living it to the fullest? Because we're not immortal, as in a physical sense, but so how well are you living the life that you have? Are you actually filling it with joy and open to all the opportunities that it has to offer? And which is where I think the more that you're exposed to all of that, the more you can get into this like surrender mode, because, you realize that, life is a continuum and it's full of experiences, and we're here to enjoy them as well as to learn and grow, and evolve as a soul. But if we are in this place of surrender, then we allow spirit or whatever to take us on this journey and not be attached to the outcome, but enjoy the journey instead.
Surrender to the moment, right?
It is about being in the present moment.
I always love the analogy of the ice cream. Okay. I think it's just, it just nails it for me, right? No one goes and gets an ice cream because they can't wait to have it finished.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. you buy an ice cream because you're enjoying the journey,
Exactly.
right? Unless you're Joe Biden, but like, you know,
Oh,
but honestly, but this is the thing: is you want to live the experience and enjoy the experience and live in the
100%.
experience. And I think about even like really simple things. And I go on, but like, okay. And this, you know, goes from having great conversations with yourself and other people who kind of get it, right?
Yeah.
It's like if you go out to dinner, all right, to a nice restaurant, okay, and you've got a bit of ambiance going on. There's a little music there, you know, people are looking after you. It's great.
Yep.
Right. How often are you actually eating that food and you're not actually living the experience, right? Okay, you're just eating. Okay, whereas you should be enjoying every mouthful. Someone's gone to great effort to make that for you. You're in this entire experience. Yeah, I'm just using that as an example, but anything in life. But
it's true. It is really true. Some people just inhale their food, and it's like you wonder if they tasted any of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I know I'm a slow eater because I actually chew my food really well, which you should anyway for digestion, but also for taste and to be in the present moment and actually enjoy what you're eating.
That's right.
Because it's part of the journey.
Yeah, you've created this situation. You've gone to a restaurant, okay, you made it all nice and whatever. Otherwise, you know, you could be just sitting at home with a tub, right?
Yeah.
But which nobody wants to do. But you've created this experience for yourself, and then you're not making the most of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is about being in the moment and
surrendering to it.
Surrendering, exactly. Yeah. Thank you. And enjoy the journey. Yeah. And it also goes with parenting, because we can get so caught up in the stress of parenting, because it is hard work. And, you know, we have a lot of challenges, and, you know, it actually helps you to learn a lot about yourself that you didn't know, because kids push you to that, don't they? They're brilliant mirrors. So if we can actually see it for what it is and surrender and not be so attached to it and not so hung up on, you know, being stressed. Like allow kids to be kids and understand that, you know, we too were like that once upon a time, and actually, you know, look at life through the kids' eyes, you know. We can actually learn a lot, and it is, again, about surrendering to the moment, being
what
in
a
the
great
moment.
point. Let kids be kids, right?
Yeah.
And also, as adults, let adults be kids.
Yeah,
there is this ridiculous, and I don't know, there's a kind of a push to, you know, act your age. I don't know. I mean, okay, it's been a long time since I took my kids to a playground, right? But okay, back in the day, I would take my kids to playground, and I would get on the gear, and I'd be swinging around and going down the sides.
Exactly.
I remember one occasion where we're at a BMX track, right? A community one, which is in the gardens. It was just a beautiful place. Anyway, and my kids expected that I was, I suppose, going to there and be watching them and stuff, which I did. But then at one point, I got myself on a 16-inch bicycles. I don't know if you know how big that is, but it's basically it looked like me riding a clown bike, okay? So it's a bike designed for a 5-year-old, and I'm riding this thing with these tiny little wheels, right?
Did you have the outfit too? And the red nose?
I should have. But, okay, here's the thing. I was enjoying it because I used to be many, many, many years ago. I was loved my BMX. I used to race BMX.
Before cars.
Yeah, before cars, it was bikes. Yeah, so I used to race BMX, loved it, and used to jump everything. Make all jumps everywhere. Jump people, jump fires, jump whatever. Right? My poor mother. But all of that aside, so I was enjoying the fact that I'm riding like this and it was just all a bit silly and a bit fun. So I'm enjoying that. But I will never, ever forget the look on my son Ayrton's face. He would have been, I'd say, maximum probably four at the time. Okay. And he just looked at me in just like, my father is ridiculous. And he was laughing and he was so full of joy. It was beautiful. I can see it right now. I can feel tears in my eyes, to be honest with you, because I can literally physically see like he was just it was a beautiful moment for us. It's something so silly, and me clown biking, but my son saw a side
probably doesn't always see, or not as often as we'd like to. So there's so much beauty in that, isn't there?
There is. So be silly, get out there, just
absolutely,
live life.
Enjoy it. We're here to enjoy life as well. So
well, and that's surrendering, right? It's okay. So to me, that is.
It is.
Okay, that's me saying I'm not going to go and conform to the norms, right? There's a bank of dads up there who are probably looking at me thinking, what a complete idiot, right? And I don't care.
No,
because I'm not there to impress
You've never
them.
been a conformist anyway, have you?
No, never. I don't think there's an ounce of it in me. But the thing is, I was there to bring pleasure to myself. But most importantly, in that moment, it was all about my boy and him seeing that. And there might have been dads going kind of,
Yeah.
Look at him. Couldn't care less. Yeah.
No, it's
Show
good.
up for the people that mean the most in your life.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, because we get too worried about what other people think of us and stuff. It's like, who cares? Like, you got to do what's right for you and, have fun and enjoy your journey.
That's a show in itself. But as far as why do we feel this compulsion, right, to fit in? Why do we feel this compulsion to, not to be seen, to be, out of the norm?
Because we've been programmed, Aaron.
Oh, really? Jeez. I never would have known.
Secret.
This is what we don't talk about. But it's true. It is so true. And this, like, living a soulful life and basing yourself on these things is, in my eyes, a really primary part of deprogramming.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not sticking in the conformity of this is okay. I'm at this stage of my life, therefore I should be doing this.
Yeah, exactly. So getting away from all those things that actually control your mind, or the media, the TVs. And
the media. No. Well, you can say the dirty word. I mean, the media is disgusting. It really is. The things that it teaches people. I mean, there's a reason why nobody cares anymore. Nobody watches mainstream TV. Now it's less than 20%.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Less than 20% of people get their news, so to speak, from mainstream television, right? Yeah. So you think about, I mean, I grew up in an era where we raced home. You made sure you were home on that Sunday, right, by 8:30, because at 8:35 the movie came on, the big blockbuster of the week, right, came on.
Yeah, that's right.
Jaws, about 3 years after it had been on the cinemas, right?
Yeah.
But we were taught rather to be caught in that net and had to be there and conform, because we're going to give you a little dopamine. We're going to give you a little feeder pellet. We're going to do that.
And it was all packaged as entertainment.
Yeah.
So, because you want entertainment. It's like, and it was the family thing to do, sit down and watch a movie on a Sunday night together, which was good because it was a family gathering thing. But I think it's the every night watching as they call it, the idiot box. Rather than feeling, what is it that I need to be doing or want to be doing? What feels in alignment with my soul, with my purpose, and actually what will bring me joy right now, and then go out and do that, and then be open to just going with the flow and
so true.
Surrender to what shows up.
Yeah, well, you're unplugging, aren't you? You're unplugging from. You're actually taking also personal responsibility for your own happiness, right? You're not saying, "Hey, box on the wall, you're responsible for keeping me happy for the next 2 hours," or whatever. And I've seen so many people do it. They come home. The automatic reaction is to flop on the couch, watch that, and you're not surrendering to your own life. You're not taking responsibility for yourself. You're asking somebody else, "Hey, entertain me." Whereas,
exactly.
You could do something yourself, right?
Yeah, and also just having silence. To me, it's hard to be in that state of surrender if you've always got noise going on around you. So when you have to have the radio on, I mean, it's okay if it's Edge radio, you can have that one on. Yeah.
No doubt.
But other than that, if you have to have the TV or the background noise going on just to keep you entertained, or just to not feel lonely, what is this fear of being on your own without some kind of noise? So many people don't like to be in their own silence. Whereas I love nothing better than to have silence, because I've got so many conversations going on in my head all the time.
See, I work very differently to you on that front.
Do you?
Yeah, because mine, same thing. It's always going on, right? Like, so there is no silence upstairs.
All right, so you want to drown it out with the radio?
Well, yeah, it's kind of. I like to have something else going on because it's a distraction. Now, it's not for me. I mean, I love my music, right? So music is fantastic because it can elevate my vibe, right? So I like to have something going on like that. But as far as like sitting and just going, I'm just going to absorb this, no, absolutely not. I like to be living in my own life, but I still like a little bit of, I like a little tickle in the ear. Yeah.
I do you now, giving away your personal secrets there.
I didn't mean it that way, but hey, take it how you like. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
But there's so much to this. It really is. And like the human experience, so many of us just do it on autopilot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest mistake, and just being able to disconnect from the world is a really, really positive thing.
And when we bring it back to birth too, this is why I'm such a advocate of hypnobirthing, because or being anything similar to that, because you drop into that space and you kind of program your body. It's programming again, but it's deprogramming it from the norm programming methods.
Right, yeah.
And helping us to reprogram ourselves to our subconscious to actually be in that surrender space. So when you're actually giving birth, then you're actually flowing. You're in the flow of birth. So this is why I love hypnobirthing, because it helps you to get into that space.
No, it sounds so positive. I mean, I wish I'd seen it. I don't think any woman's going to allow me into the room. Just a random fellow walk past and say, hey, I want to check out this hypnobirthing. But I haven't seen the other side of it. And so I've been very, very lucky as far as, my kids were born without any major traumas or anything like that. But they were born in the hospital system and they were born with all the rules and the carry on. And there was no surrendering. Okay, no opportunity to surrender, because in those situations, other people just had control all the way down the line. And guess what? It's geez, that old saying, that old chestnut. Your body, your choice. It is your body, and it's also the body of that beautiful baby coming through. Right? There's two people involved there. Well, there's more than two, because it takes two to make a baby. We all know that. But in that particular moment, right? These are the two people you should be focusing on more than anything, and to be able to the person involved, the woman involved, because only women have babies, right? I'll say it every time I get the chance, every time. Only women have babies, and they are the most incredibly lucky people for that very reason. But so if they can surrender into that, wonderful. If the baby can surrender into the experience of that, everybody involved, obviously, for the man involved as well, if he can surrender and enjoy the experience. So there's a lot. There's a lot in one word, isn't there?
There is. There's so much is, and it just impacts you for the rest of your life when you have a different experience because of it. When you surrender, as opposed to like trying to work against the grain. And
why do we do that?
Because we like to make things difficult for ourselves.
Yeah, we like to make life as complicated as possible.
But we need to be keeping it simple, just go back to basics and just allow the flow to happen. Be chilled,
Be chilled?
Think like a hippie, just like,
See,
yeah, man, go with the flow.
You went with the hippie. I went straight to Bob Marley, but there you go. Okay, there you are.
Bob Marley's probably hippie as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he certainly had a pretty relaxed life. Well, no, he really didn't have a relaxed lifestyle.
No.
Did you actually know much about the story of Bob Marley?
Not really, no.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Pretty full on. So.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, look, there you go. There's some reading for everybody. Go check that out. All right. Well, we've come to the end of the show pretty much. So do you have anything you want to wrap us up with?
Well, I did want to just sort of say there is a mantra for surrender. Did you want to hear a mantra?
Yeah.
Or mantra, however you like to say it.
Mantra.
So close your eyes for a moment. Just like be in the moment. Just go, I want to take you into deep surrender. Just one sentence. So close your eyes and just, I trust in the divine flow of life. I release control and welcome what is meant for me.
Nice. What's the bit all about?
It's just the balance,
Just the balance?
The yin
okay.
and yang and
is it the sound? Is that, well, obviously it's the sound.
Because, vibrational frequency.
Hit the bell.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, I like that very much. Well, thank you for being part of Soulbirth here on Edge Radio Australia. And another, I love our conversations because they go here, there, everywhere.
They do, and they go so quick. But
unbelievably frustrating for you because you probably got these wonderful things you want to talk about, and I'll just take you off a different subject.
It's all right. No, it's going to be the same conversation with it without being taken here, there, and everywhere.
That's
life. That's life.
That is life. Absolutely.
So it's perfect.
Now with the feed today, we didn't go to some of the normal places we go. So for those that have been watching and enjoying it, or you've found some value in it, feel very, very free to share this with your friends. Really important to share and like and subscribe and do all the YouTubey things. But honestly, that's the great thing. If you find that somebody in life will get value from this, that we'd be very, very appreciative and honoured, quite frankly, if you would share that. So have a wonderful day. And, of course, don't forget there is a replay of this on edgeradioaustralia.com, and that is at what time on a Sunday?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. It's a beauty. All right. Thanks for being part of Soulbirth here on Edge Radio Australia.
Bye.